Number 11, number 12, Audrey. Full forward line, number 13, Warrior SHC, number 14, Kevin Palmer, and number 15, Adrian Cook. Garryspillane, line out as follows. Number 1, Brian Reedy, number 2, Kieran Burke, number 3, Richard O'Donovan, number 4, Garrett Howard, number 5, Declan Barry, number 6, Mark Quinlan.
Will we get a nod for? Will we get the nod for live or what's the? Don't know yet. That's kind of it.
Number 9, Ryan Coleman.
How about it?
11, John Turner. Number 12, Paul Sheehan. Number 13, Dylan O'Shea. Number 14, Kieran Hickey. Number 15, Adam Sheehan. The referee for tonight's game is John Allen, with linesman Mike Sexton and Patsy Coffey. Just to tell patrons, toilets are in use in the complex. You can come in the car outside the ladies and gents toilets.
Yeah, just give an idea. A shout from you. So, groups of 3, isn't it? And top team in each group goes through.
Yes, only top in section B.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rockies lose today.
And you're very welcome to Kilmallock Fitzgerald Stadium in Kilmallock for this evening's Bonsecure Senior Hurling Championship. It's of course the meeting of Blackrock, our newcomers to the Senior Championship in 2020, against those who were promoted in 2018. That of course the bouncers better known to all of us, but Garryspillane wearing the black and amber colours this evening. This is a must-win game for both sides. For Blackrock 7 days ago they weren't successful against Ballybrown, who had quite a big win in the end in what was a baptism of fire very much for the Blackrock men in their first game out in Senior Hurling Championship. For Garryspillane, they bring a wealth of experience and youth to their team this afternoon, managed by a very, very experienced manager. Remember the name of Ger Bradley, all the way from Newport in County Tipperary. It is their first championship game of 2020, and it's going to be a big, big battle here, and one that we are very, very much looking forward to. About 25 past 8 or thereabouts, both teams will know their fate. Of course, Garryspillane will play Ballybrown next weekend, regardless of tonight's outcome, but for Blackrock, everything hinges on this hour, and I'm delighted to be joined by Jerome O'Connell of the Limerick Leader. Jerome, a very, very interesting game ahead. Put it in context for Blackrock this week. You come with great hope and expectation into last weekend. You took a bit of a beating to what would we call the favourites for this competition in Ballybrown. How do you turn yourself around in 7 days?
Yeah, I think they'll be very disappointed with their return to the senior grade after waiting 23 years to get up there, and there would have been, I suppose, so much emotion maybe ahead of it, and tension maybe as well for the newcomers to the grade. But to fall as badly as they did, that'll have hurt them this week. And I think what'll be interesting to see, and we've been observing it in the games we've seen so far, how will the teams that have had the game last week, how will that benefit them? Garryspillane are coming in pretty cold. Now they've had an impressive under-21 campaign pre and post lockdown, but as a group, this is their first competitive senior game. The Rockies have last week, the hurt of last week, and also the match practice of last week. So from that point of view, they will hope, which they didn't do last week, to get off to a good start and try and put that to use tonight.
And as we stand here for our Ronavian, Well, I can tell you it is a beautiful evening here in Kilmallock for a game of hurling. There is, of course, a bit wet underfoot conditions, but pretty much no breeze around. It's going to be Blackrock, I think, playing from left to right, or in fact we haven't had the toss just yet. It's our referee this afternoon, John O'Halloran from the Brewery Club just next door, going to get a toss up here between, looks like Kevin Palmer and James Ryan in midfield. We'll keep a quick eye on that, but we'll also give you the team news. I can tell you Blackrock will play as selected, and indeed it's Blackrock who won the toss. No quite clear indication as to where they're going to, what way teams are going to play, but Blackrock are going to play as selected. Number 1, Richie Murphy starts in goal, with Nigel Hosford, Richie McCarthy and Brian Maloney manning the line in front. It's Marty Farrell, Dahi Heffernan at 6, and Liam Walsh will make up the final sextet. In midfield, it will be Jimmy Quilty and Ian O'Brien, while on the half-forward line, Dylan Dawson, the experienced Gavin O'Loughlin and Paddy Leahy will lead the charge for them. While inside, Rory O'Shaughnessy, Kevin Palmer hit 2-2 the last day. They'll hope for similar this afternoon. And Adrian Cook at the top of the left. For the bouncers, they face one change, a change probably that wasn't overly a secret. Mark Quinlan is going to be out for them this afternoon with an AC shoulder injury, but it's Brian Heavey who starts in goal. Kieran Burke, Robert O'Donovan and Gerard Power make up the full back line. It's Declan Barry, what we think will be James Ryan at number 6, and Owen O'Mahony will go at number 7. It's Danny Hayes who is in for Mark Quinlan, possibly partnering Ryan Tobin in midfield, with Colin Ryan, John Kearns and Owensy Sheehan on the half-forward line, Dylan O'Shea, Kieran Hickey and Callum Sheehan in that full forward line. And I can tell you, Jerome, already the match programme, the positions not meaning too much in this for this throw-in.
No, certainly not. And, you know, worth pointing out as well that Garryspillane go to battle tonight for the first time since 1989 without one of the Ryan brothers in their starting lineup, Donny, TJ or Davy. Might see Davy or Donny playing junior hurling before the year is out, but none of the three togged tonight. That's 30 years of service from the three brothers, and incredible service. But for Garryspillane, an incredible, you know, void of experience gone from their starting team tonight that they've relied so heavily on for the last 3 decades.
And indeed, Donny Ryan, of course, was a formidable player for Garryspillane for many years, and the man taking up the mantle from him is going to hit the first free of the night, and it's Dylan O'Shea from way out the field. Dylan on his own 65 puts that in and puts it over the crossbar, and after 38 seconds of play we have the first score of the game, and it's Dylan O'Shea from a free. Puck out comes long from Richie Murphy, and it's James Ryan who is going to get himself back underneath that as he's bringing attack up towards Owen Sheehan. Touch wasn't that good, and the ball goes out over the sideline, so it's going to be a sideline cut to Owen Sheehan. And if memory served me right, I think Garryspillane playing Caherline in Junior A hurling tomorrow afternoon, but don't make that just gospel as yet. It's Liam Walsh, a man very familiar with these surroundings in Kilmallock, of course, Munster Championship medal winner with Kilmallock back in 2014, and he cuts this forward for his new club, that's just Blackrock, but it's finding the hand of the Garryspillane man, Kieran Burke. Ball is spilled to the ground, and conditions, as we said, almost ideal, but it is wet underfoot as the ball is played back, and it's still an O'Shea moving forward, operating far from that 13 position. He's being chased and he gives it back outside to John Kearns. Ball's going to drop short inside. Callum Sheehan gets the hand up. It's broken away well, and it's Richie McCarthy, it looks like they got the touch away to Jimmy Quilty. Is there a free there? Yes, there is. And Callum Sheehan just adjudging to have tugged Jimmy Quilty there as Blackrock look to try and get this ball quickly away, and it's Marty Farrell to the opposite side of the field. Adrian Cook coming out underneath it here, breaks it forward, but it's actually Kevin Palmer, and Palmer holding up position well, and it's James Ryan coming in. Clever campaigner, tries to pop it off to O'Shea, but it doesn't happen, and it's flicked back eventually, nobody in possession, and it's eventually coming out over the sideline here. That looks like Kieran Burke has put that out. Sideline cut has been taken, and was taken a little bit too quick there, and it was Dylan Dawson looking to play it quick and didn't play it quick enough. And in fairness to Paddy Leahy, he just left it off, because if he had touched it, it would have been a throwing ball. And it's Dylan Dawson again, looking to get a pull on it, I'd say. Yes, looking for someone short, and it's now with Paddy Leahy, and Leahy strikes it off his right. This is a serious score. That's looked like one they've worked on. And Paddy Leahy gets the first score of the night on 2 minutes and 59 seconds. So Paddy Leahy ties up the game here as the puck out goes short. And it's a feature of the game that we see an awful lot more now. And it's Kieran Buck who drives long down to Owen Sheehan. And that's going to find the far sideline. And again, Liam Walsh going to cut it, similar to where he was a couple of moments ago. Good score, Jerome, from Paddy Leahy.
Yeah, great score, and the man that captained them to the county title success last year, and they look to him for experience. Anytime you look at their scoring charts, Paddy Leahy leads the way. He did it in both county finals last year, the drawn one and the replayed one in the Gaelic grounds over Kildime Pallaskinry, and he's a huge figure for him, from play and from frees. So for him to chip one over from the sideline, great confidence boost for him.
The attempted sideline cut has worked its way back to where it nearly came from, but its pressure has been cleared now by the Blackrock defence, and it's up to Kevin Palmer. Palmer off the left here. This looks good. Yes, we have a flag, and it's white. And Roberto Donovan just giving a few yards there to Kevin Palmer, and it's a few too many as Blackrock take the lead here. But the news that I can tell you that they mightn't like Blackrock is that Gavin O'Loughlin, their experienced centre forward, on the last play just pulled, or looked like what is a pulled hamstring or something similar. So Jimmy Quilty just giving instructions underneath us here. Quilty, a very experienced manager, of course, at both club and inter-county level. O'Loughlin appears to be okay, and we're going to restart with a puck out from Brian Heavey. 2-1 as we know. It's down this near side, and it's Kieran Hickey who's come out, and it looks like Dahi Heffernan with him, but Hickey puts the hand up. Well caught there, playing off as far as Colin Ryan. Ryan strikes it in, and that's a super score from Colin Ryan. A beautiful score. The puck out was taken by Kieran Hickey, and Colin Ryan drifts that one over beautifully. A lovely score to settle him, Jerome.
Yeah, certainly, and continuing that Ryan dynasty in the Garryspillane team, and he's named at 10, but he seems to be playing in midfield, and again, great score from distance, and Garryspillane seem to be playing very direct, and why wouldn't you with a full forward line that has Owen Sheehan and Callum Sheehan inside, and Danny Hayes has stepped up from the junior Bs last year as well at full forward.
Looks like, Brian has hit that one long, and Brian Heavey takes it on the stick. It popped up, and in was coming Gavin O'Loughlin, but Heavey looked to be measured.
Right, Colin, come on!
Colin Ryan, of course, as Jerome mentioned, coming from the Ryan dynasty, son of TJ.
Blackrock seem to want to make a change as well. Colin O'Keefe, the under 21 star, is warming up, and I'd say Gavin O'Loughlin probably still in a bit of trouble with probably that hamstring.
Well, what a take from Liam Walsh there as he tries to get the attack moving here with Ian O'Brien, but it's overcooked a little bit, and it's Owen O'Mahony who has it now. Down this far side here as far as Danny Hayes, the man in for Mark Quinlan. Danny's off his left. Oh, super block, Richie McCarthy. We've seen him do that before with Limerick, of course, many times. Ball goes out and goes wide. So, well done, Richie McCarthy there. So, Blackrock having quelled that attack, as we're going to see that change now. As Jerome mentioned, it was number 17.
Colin O'Keefe,
yeah.
in fine scoring form at under 21 level in recent weeks, and he got a couple of vital scores last year as well off the subs bench for their Premier Intermediate win. But you're losing a big physical presence and an experienced presence in your half forward line, so that's a bit of a blow for the Rockies.
Indeed it is, as this puck out comes, and Kevin Palmer does really well. He's under savage pressure here, and it's played back and played inside well by Ian O'Brien. And again, this is a great move. It's Paddy Leahy on the end of it. This is a fabulous score from the Rockies. A very, very well worked move up there. And Paddy Leahy has got his second point of the evening on 7 minutes here. Paddy Leahy restores the advantage for the Rockies. Down on top of Kieran Hickey, and once again, that big left hand goes up, but it breaks off him this time. And it's he's somehow won it back. It's Dahi Heffernan for company. Back as far as Owen O'Mahony on his right, trying to dink it forward to Dylan O'Shea. Jimmy Quilty coming across. O'Shea steps to the left. This is a super strike, but it's going to go to the right hand side and wide. O'Shea is a real exciting player, and one that Blackrock or Garryspillane will be looking to ignite their charge tonight as the puck out goes short. It's relieved well by Marty Farrell. And it's Dylan Dawson looking to get on it, but it's on the ground, and it's James Ryan coming back, the wily old defender, as we said already. that he is. Garrod Power, long, down to Kieran Hickey. It's broken away and it's Liam Walsh pulling. And it looks like Marty Farrell coming onto it. Farrell short, Ian O'Brien, space and time on the 65. Puck out, ball is going to glance short. It's really dangerous though for Garryspillane, and it's knocked out by, and it's Kieran Burke to James Ryan, and direct. And we've spoken about this, but down to Richie McCarthy. It's won by McCarthy, and he's fouled, and fouled well. And the Rockies over there like it. No chance to draw breath as the puck out is, or the free is taken, and it's Kevin Palmer fouled, and Jerome. Big balls down on top of Richie McCarthy.
Not going to work, you know. Garryspillane wants to be direct, but if you're going to put balls on top of the edge of the square on top of Richie, he's going to gobble those up all day long. They need to be direct, but they need to be cute about it. They've got two speedsters in the corner, two Sheens with great touch. It can be direct, but they need to spread it out because Richie's going to love that all day, and he'll have a great battle with Danny Hayes at the edge of the box. But Garryspillane won't come out the winners there.
And it's a big catch and a big block for Richie McCarthy in the opening 9 minutes. And it's Paddy Leahy puts that one over. It's his opening score from freeze, but not his opening score in the game. As Brian Heavey wants to get this out, and these puck-outs have become so interesting now. Finds his half-back, Ono Mahoney. Converging is the Blackrock forward line, but James Ryan off that left-hand side puts it down, trying to find Callum Sheehan. And this guy is such a real operator now, and Sheehan is fouled in the process of going forward, and it was going to be a point anyway, I'd say. But John O'Halloran is going to call it back. And I think, Jerome, the rear guard were listening to you there. That ball went wide, and you can see how Callum Sheehan, how well he did there. Unorthodox style, but this guy is a real dangerous forward.
They've an exciting set of forwards, when you think of Callum Sheehan and Owen Sheehan in the corners, and then you come out your half forward line, you've got Dylan O'Shea, and then they've mixed it with the ball winners of Danny Hayes, Kieran Hickey and John Kearns out there as well, so they have the ideal mix, and if they get two of that three in shooting form, Garryspillane are hard to contend with.
Yeah, well, Dylan O'Shea has got another one. He's second of the evening, and Garryspillane's third as we play 4 points to 3 here. Opening 10 minutes just gone. This puck out has gone really long from Richie Murphy, but it's gobbled up well there by Kieran Burke as he looks to come out. Good block by Kevin Palmer, the captain of the Rockies. And Patsy Coffey, the ever-vigilant linesman on the far side, telling us that it's going to be Ryan Tobin and Garryspillane to move this one forward. County senior champions way back in 2005. Beating Kilmallock, of course, in that county final. Tony Considine led Garryspillane that day. And who's he leading now? He's leading Kilmallock. And, back to matters present. As Marty Farrell comes forward, Kieran Hickey just a little high with the hurley, but no intent. And John O'Halloran, sensible refereeing there, I think, Jerome.
Yeah, and Kieran, one of those still remaining from that championship winning team under Tony Considine. Kieran and Danny and James Ryan, a young teenager back then, and that experienced trio now are key for a side that I think the Bouncers probably have maybe 7 under 21 starting tonight.
And it's Ian O'Brien taking it quick, and it's Marty Farrell who had given it to him, and it's off to Dylan Dawson, and Dawson is well away from Garrod Power here, gets his shot off. Have we a flag? Yes, we have. And Dylan Dawson. And Jerome, we spoke about the start and how important it would be for Blackrock, and they've really started well here. 5 points to 3 they lead.
Yeah, and I think the important thing for them is they're not coughing up easy scores, that maybe they felt they did against Ballybrown. They've been tight at the back so far, and they have their shooting boots on. They're 100% accuracy in their forwards so far.
Yeah, and they've got a number of exciting forwards as well, and Dylan Dawson showing his worth there. That was a very, very good score as the ball is going to be thrown in here. And it's Danny Hayes looking to get this ball off and trying to get Declan Barry on it. But Marty Farrell, well, he's had an impressive opening 10 minutes. And it's down as far as Kevin Palmer. And Palmer turning left and right, trying to take James Ryan for a tour of Kilmallock. And that's a beautiful skill from the Blackrock captain. He plays it inside. It looks like Adrian Cook off to Palmer again. A chance. And it's going to slip outside the post. It is. So Blackrock's first wide of the evening.
Yeah, and I think in the rejig of Gavin O'Loughlin being forced off injured, Kevin Palmer has come to centre forward on top of James Ryan, and in hindsight might be a great move if he can drag James around the field.
And Jimmy Quilty gives it back into Dylan Dawson, and again it's Kevin Palmer. He's been everywhere in these opening few minutes. Back to Adrian Cook. He's going to be hooked. He half is. It's off to Declan Barry. Declan's strike, not so good, but it gets to Callum Sheehan, and it's 3 Rockies men for defenders. Marty Farrell trying to get this one forward, and it's Farrell. He's got 2 Garryspillane men with him now, and this is a real ruck developing here. Nothing being asked or given, and it's off as far as John Kearns, and Jimmy Quilty, son of the manager, hooks him well. It's Adrian Cook now trying to move forward, and it's turned over by Garryspillane now. Riney Tobin gets it forward. Dahi Heffernan back there batting it forward. The ever dependable Richie McCarthy coming and going to find Liam Walsh, and this looks comfortable now for the Rockies as commentators cursed just overcomes Liam Walsh, and it's off as far as Owen Sheehan. This is a simple score surely, and it's gone across the goals, and it's gone left and wide number 3 for Garryspillane.
Huge pressure being put on by the Blackrock defence. In fairness, you mentioned Marty Farrell, Richie McCarthy, Liam Walsh. They're all winning huge amounts of ball and putting serious pressure on the shooters.
This is great entertainment in the opening 14 minutes here. And Owen Sheehan just at the last wide. And it's Colin Ryan come deep, trying to find Sheehan again. But Brian Maloney does well, gets it away from him. Danny Hayes off as far as Sheehan again. It spills away from him. Kieran Hickey is in there, but well cleared by Nigel Hosford as Hickey and Liam Walsh battle for it, right at the corner of the field. Richie Murphy has come from his goal to take it, settling things, turning defence into a good, long, deep attack, and it's Kieran O'Keefe who's broken at the ground. But well done, Roberto Donovan. And Jimmy Quilty trying to get on it as well. It's with the 4 midfielders, and it's the youngster Quilty, Munster Minor medal winner with Limerick last year, racing forward, takes a clip on the helmet but strikes it in, and John O'Halloran says it came late, and it was a late touch to the back of the helmet of Jimmy Quilty as he struck that ball, and it's going to mean it's a 21-yard free for the Rockies.
Yeah, we spoke about it beforehand, wondering would last week's game benefit Blackrock, and I think in the opening 15 minutes we've seen that it probably has. They have the greater shape to their team. It's clear that they learned lessons from last week as well, and it is taking Garryspillane a little bit of a while to find their shape and find their momentum, but right now Jimmy Quilty must be a happy manager. They're about to go 6-3 up with the water break coming.
Yeah, this is a big local derby as well, Jerome, and this adds another dimension to the game here. Bragging rights for whoever wins it, as Paddy Leahy.
You've got the Rockies, of course, fighting for their survival in the championship. Garryspillane will have another day out, with quarterfinals still a possibility regardless of the outcome tonight. But for the Rockies, it's do or die, and I suppose that's the one thing from the rejigged championship that we have more do or die championship games, that maybe we had lost that sense of drama in recent years with maybe 5 group teams in the senior championship. But so far so good. I think as Blackrock meet up down here to our left for the water break, I think they'll be quite happy with the opening 15 minutes.
One thing that came through last weekend, Jerome, just speaking to a number of people involved with different clubs, was that water break and the momentum killer that it could be. And like obviously for Garryspillane, it's good now. They're 3 behind. It's a good time to refocus, get yourself right for the last quarter of this half.
Yeah, last thing Jimmy Quilty would have wanted. Yes, he's speaking to these players and they're happy, but it's the last thing they would have wanted. They've got on top. They've got 4 of the last 5 scores. They would have wanted that momentum to go. Garryspillane get the chance now to slow it down and come out and regroup themselves. Just what they need. Probably not what the Rockies wanted. Personally, I'm not a fan of it. It's about momentum, and it's breaking the momentum, and we've seen it. It's dividing your game into 4 quarters, really. And if you look back over the games from last weekend, you can see there's little switches and little changes amongst the quarters, and interesting to see now how Garryspillane come for the next 15 minutes.
And the rain has come down here in Kilmallock, and it was a lovely afternoon here. But from about 5 o'clock onwards, some showers coming down, and whatever breeze is there, it's probably blowing across the field, but I don't think it's overly significant, Jerome.
If it's to favour anyone, it is favouring Blackrock, but a little bit of rain now as well as dampening it down. It's not worth anything huge on the scoreboard.
So going to start with a puck out from Brian Heavey, and this is something that's very interesting as well, because you're nearly looking to the midfield to see the throw-in. So players got to remember where the ball is coming from. So it comes from Heavey, because that's where the last chance came, from a point from Blackrock, as Owen Sheehan tries to get himself under a puck out, and it's on the ground over there. Adrian Cook is around with Liam Walsh, and it's with Ian O'Brien, and it looks like he threw the ball. So the Blackrock midfielder saying that he didn't do that to John O'Halloran, but the Brewery man's reading of it is what we will take, and it's going to be a free, and it's Dylan O'Shea again. James O'Keefe joining Ger Bradley, of course, on this management team ticket for Garryspillane. As O'Shea, familiar style, it's going to drop short, it's into Kieran Hickey, it comes off his hands, it's bobbling around in there, could be a chance, but it's anybody's ball, and it's Owen Sheehan who's got it up. He's going away off his left, across the goal, and the ball has gone wide. And that trademark Rocky's defending, which has been very, very tigerish in the opening 19 minutes here, has yielded 4 wides for Garryspillane, and only 3 scores in the game for them.
Yeah, and Garryspillane slipped in a substitution there during the water break as well that we may have missed, but Kieran Sheehan has come into the game and is lining out in an unfamiliar maybe centre forward position for him. Not quite sure who has made way just yet.
And this is huge pressure from the Rockies here as Ona Mahoney comes in front of us. Off now as far as Declan Barry, and Barry's moving forward, but there's so many green jerseys around him, and it's Quilty now who's going to be defended, and it's going to be a Garryspillane sideline cut. Real tigerish stuff there, real adrenaline, sapping energy tackles going in from both sides.
Yeah, and of course, given that we haven't had as many games as they would have liked, how's that going to fare coming down the final third or the final quarter will be the thing.
Yeah, indeed. So it's O'Shea. He's got a pedigree for cutting these, but it's again going to drop short, and it's Liam Walsh coming out with it. He will surely bring somebody in with him. Tries to get Jimmy Quilty on it, but snuffed out well, and Owen Sheehan comes in, and it's Kieran Sheehan who has been fouled, and the man that was, as Jerome said, slipped in there just at the water break has been fouled, and it's going to be a free for Dylan O'Shea. Looking around to see who has made way. Colin Ryan is there. John Kearns looks to be there. Owen Sheehan is certainly there. Dylan is there. Kieran Hickey. Is it Callum Sheehan? Yes, it is. No sign of Callum Sheehan out there, Jerome.
The white helmet of Callum Sheehan is perhaps he had picked up a knock. Not quite sure.
The free comes off the upright, and it's back to Owen Sheehan, and it's popped off now as far as Danny Hayes. Garryspillane have a free in for a pullback on Owen Sheehan, and Dylan O'Shea, uncharacteristically enough for him, put that ball off the upright, and when Owen Sheehan picked it up, he was tugged. So this should be more routine now for Dylan O'Shea.
Just goes to show that Garryspillane just aren't quite motoring at the moment. That's a routine free for Dylan O'Shea, and just not firing on all cylinders, Garryspillane at the moment. And strange substitution as well. Perhaps there was a knock from Callum, but Kieran Sheehan, young Kieran Sheehan, again up from the Junior B winning team of last year, and seems to be playing. It seems to be actually gone in now straight into as a corner forward maybe.
First score in 11 minutes too for Garryspillane, and it's one they certainly need. Riney Tobin with Adrian Cook, and it's Cook who gets it up, but it spills away as 3 or 4 players are around it. Looks like Dahi Heffernan, back to Jimmy Quilty, to Kevin Palmer. Good tackle from O'Donovan as the ball is on the ground. There's real battle for it now, or shamazel as they would say in days gone by, and it's still nobody's ball. Huge part of the play, but eventually it's picked up, and it looks like Kieran O'Keefe back to Dahi Heffernan now off the right. Heffernan likes it. He likes it as he struck it on the 65. It was Kieran O'Keefe who did really well, and he shoveled it back there to Dahi Heffernan. And on 22.5 minutes, it's Garryspillane who are trailing here by 3 points. And maybe one thing that they probably didn't expect. Probably expected to have a little bit of a better presence in this game as the puck out comes long, and it's the point scored just a second ago, winning it. Jimmy Quilty looking to play it high, and underneath it is Kieran Burke. But the rain has made that ball slippy and it's spilled away. Clearance comes only as far as Kieran O'Keefe, trying to get Kevin Palmer on it. This is real dangerous stuff now. As Dylan O'Shea wins it, tries to come forward, off as far as Declan Barry. The white helmet moving forward, looking for somebody on a run with him. And it's Dylan O'Shea who has come off his shoulder. It's going to drop short again, but Danny Hayes and Richie McCarthy going to battle here. And it's Owen Sheehan quickest onto the breaking ball. Liam Walsh for company. And the Rockies doing well. 2 men facing him. Walsh gets the block down, but Sheehan's going to win the ball back, favouring his left. Gets a shot at goal, going to have distance, but the crowd over there will tell you it's gone wide. And Jimmy Quilty claps the hands underneath us. Wide number 5 for Garryspillane, Jerome.
Yeah, and huge intensity from the defenders again. And look at the experience of Liam Walsh there. You know, what a block, and straight away two of his defensive colleagues straight in as well to win the ball back. Hunting in numbers, but doing it really, really well.
And any doubts we had that Blackrock might have a hangover from last week have certainly been quelled. It's Paddy Leahy now, striking it off the back foot, but it's going to go wide. Huge encouragement from the Blackrock sideline underneath us. Garryspillane, of course, at the opposite side of the field in these changed COVID times. Mentors and substitutes have to go to either side. Brian Heavey looking to restart. Getting it out to his halfback Owen O'Mahony, but it's spilt away again, and huge intensity and pressure means that the ball is going to be a Blackrock sideline cut. Of course, Brian Heavey, interesting with him. Brian plays half-back kind of for his under-21 team, Garryspillane team, but he plays in goals for the senior team. And equally adept, I can tell you, both out the field and between the sticks. Having a fine game tonight. It's his team trailing though by 3 as the rain comes a little bit more heavily now here in Kilmallock, as Riney Tobin gets the ball moving towards the Garryspillane full forward line, and it's that blue helmet of Richie McCarthy that's coming forward, and Richie off as far as Dahi Heffernan. Heffernan steps away but is hooked brilliantly by Danny Hayes, and it's on to Jimmy Quilty. Takes 2 tackles and it's going to be a free. And the free coming to the men in green and white. The men promoted from Premier Intermediate last year are going to have a chance here with Paddy Leahy. Breeze at his back on his own 65 or just outside it. I think, Jerome, you nearly fancy him here to have a share of distance.
Yeah, it is well within Paddy's range.
Yeah.
And to bring it to 8-4 would be just what they deserve for these 25 minutes.
And exactly as we said, but accuracy slipping outside, wide number 3.
Huge composure from Blackrock again. You know, Richie McCarthy, I think, is set out to stall, and Dahi Heffernan is growing into the game as well at centre back. We would have seen him as a goalkeeper or even a corner forward in previous years, but he's grown into the number 6 role so far.
And it's puck out has been won by Blackrock, and John O'Halloran, not for the first time tonight, adjudging that the ball has been thrown. And Dylan O'Shea was the man underneath the puck out, was crowded out really well, and it's going to be a free just on the 65 now, just inside the 65 in fact. And again, 3-point advantage for Blackrock, so they need this score. And it's Dylan O'Shea striking it in, and we have a flag and it's wide. 26 and a half minutes gone thereabouts, and it's Dylan O'Shea who has cut the advantage.
That's 4-pointed frees from Dylan as well, and for all the attacking prowess that Garryspillane have, the Blackrock defence are really on top right now, limiting Garryspillane to just 1 point from play.
It's a game of huge endeavour as Dylan Dawson looks to get forward. This is a great chance here from Ian O'Brien, and the man wearing number 9 puts that one in and over the crossbar, and that is a super score from Ian O'Brien, cancelling out that one from Dylan O'Shea just a couple of seconds ago, as we play 27 minutes out here now.
That's 5 different scorers from play for Blackrock as well.
This is really impressive from them, I can tell you, in this opening 27 or 8 minutes, as they are fighting very much for their championship lives here in Kilmallock. They have no other opportunity, as Jerome said a little bit earlier on. Defeat last week to Ballybrown means that they have to get something from this game, and they would like it to be 3 points to keep themselves alive in the championship. Coming up next week for Garryspillane, of course, will be Ballybrown, and I'm sure they are watching this game with great intent, as Dahi Heffernan Jerome mentioned a couple of moments ago, forward, goalkeeper, and now a defender as Heffernan strikes it long to the edge of the square. It's broken off inside. It's Kieran O'Keefe has it. It's gone in, and it's gone over the bar. And Colm O'Keefe, in fact, and he had a brilliant opportunity there because Brian Heavey didn't know a whole lot about it.
And I think he was amongst the scorers earlier in the week for the under-21s as well, and 2 or 3 inches lower, and I think that was in the net.
And that's a super score from him, and it just gives the advantage, pushes it out to 4 now, and not for the first time. It's Blackrock who win the puck out, a Garryspillane puck out, Paddy Leahy going long. That one's going to go wide number 4.
Probably worked a shot from distance, but they are winning it inside as well with Dylan Dawson and Kevin Palmer inside causing trouble. So they can continue to feed them. They certainly have Garryspillane in a bit of trouble.
But Garryspillane not winning any of their own puck outs. They've gone short this time to Brian Heavey. They're really struggling in the half forward line, and that's quite evident as Kieran Hickey comes far from the goal, pops it off as far as John Kearns. Chance of a score, and it is indeed. So looks like a bit of a change there. It was John Kearns who took the pass off of Kieran Hickey, and Garryspillane needed that as the Rory O'Shaughnessy taking this ahead of Robert O'Donovan. Marty Farr looking for it. He plays it in field to Ian O'Brien. It's Kieran Hickey around him now, and it's a chance for Garryspillane to turn this over. Good tackle, Dylan O'Shea. He can get clear here. He's got space in front of him. He pops it off as Kieran Hickey, and it's O'Shea a chance to get their second in a row. And now Garryspillane seem to be motoring a little bit. Well done, Dylan O'Shea there. He kept that alive. And on 29 minutes and 21 seconds, Dylan O'Shea gets the second score of the evening for second score in a row for
the experienced campaigner Kieran Hickey as well, the provider for the 2 last scores. Put a hand up there a couple of minutes ago and won a key ball when they weren't winning possession, laid it off to John Kearns, and again they're involved in getting the touch on to Dylan O'Shea. And for all the hurling that Blackrock have done and for as impressive as we've been, they're just the 2 points clear.
And the pull was a bit low by Owen O'Mahony on that puck out. So he was trying to break the ball forward, and John O'Halloran saying that it was contact or too close to the helmet of the Blackrock forward, and it's going to be Paddy Leahy now with a good chance here to restore advantage to 3. Blackrock 9, Garryspillane 7. May not be that for long as it goes in and goes over the bar. So on 30 minutes, bang on, but of course we have that water break to add into. Paddy Leahy stops the Garryspillane momentum as we play 7 points to 10 in favour of the Rockies. Dylan O'Shea broken away from him, and it's Colm O'Keefe down to Rory O'Shaughnessy, and Robert O'Donovan trying to get a touch. What a lovely flick that is off of Rory O'Shaughnessy, but he regains possession, putting it across the field, trying to get Kevin Palmer onto it. Lively, remember they've lost Gavin O'Loughlin, and it's Palmer coming away, stepping back out. It's going to drop down. What do the umpires say? They say it's a score from Kevin Palmer, and getting a little bit of room, he stepped back off of his defender on the back foot very much and put it in and over the crossbar. And I'm telling you, Garrod Power has got his hands full there. Puck out short to Kieran, and didn't go as long, and it's Kieran Sheehan winning it, trying to get it forward as far as Declan Barry maybe, but look at the amount of green jerseys that are around him, and he's still got more. It's off now as far as Barry, and the Blackrock men converging. The touch on the ground is tough because it is slippy. Great ball forward. It's Dylan Dawson, but taken away from him by O'Donovan. Back now to Colin Ryan, quite in the last few minutes. Off to James Ryan. James moving forward now, onto 65. Back to Robert O'Donovan, hitting it high and long, down on top of Richie McCarthy and Danny Hayes. What will happen here? The ball is on the ground. It's anyone's possession at the moment, and is John O'Halloran going to throw it in? No, he's not, because Blackrock have it, and it's Dahi Heffernan who wins it, and as he comes out, he's tugged back, and the Rockies crowd here this evening, all of which is just limited to 200. Like that, I can tell you, and on 32 minutes, they've quelled another Garryspillane attack, and Jerome, this is really impressive from Blackrock.
Yeah, it is. They've won an awful lot of that dirty ball, the ball down on the ground. They're the green jerseys coming out of it more often than not. Garryspillane have settled for the last couple of minutes, but crucial again that Blackrock came with 2 more points just to show that they're not lying down. And 11 points in 30 minutes, it's a good return for a team that must have been very disappointed at half time last week.
And if there's only been one team in it here, and they men in black and amber, very much depending on the man in shot at the moment, and that is Dylan O'Shea. He is the leading light from an attacking point of view, I can tell you, both from frees and from play. And O'Shea has got distance here. It's going to land right in the square. It drops right down. Can somebody get a hurley on it? And it's Nigel Hosford, it looks like, coming away with it. It's actually Brian Maloney. And Brian Maloney is going to have the last piece of action here as John O'Halloran blows the half-time whistle here in Fitzgerald Stadium in Kilmallock. A half that was led by the Blackrock men here, playing in their second championship game. They lead us and lead Garryspillane, I should say, by 11 points to 7 in what has been a very, very workmanlike and clever and astute, and I would say even tactical performance in that first half, Jerome.
Yeah, I think it has, all the hallmarks of Jimmy Quilty across it, a very composed performance, and more like what we'd seen from them last year when they were winning the Premier Intermediate. And I've no doubt that that's what management would have stressed during the week, that last week was a hiccup, we'll forget it, we'll move on. And to be fair to them, that's what they've done. They've set the tempo there for that opening half. Is it Garryspillane, being that little bit stale and trying to find their feet, or is it, Blackrock enforcing on them? I think all credit to Blackrock so far. As you said, tactically they appear to have got it right. They're winning all the key battles up the middle. Their key men, Richie McCarthy, Dahi Heffernan, Kevin Palmer, their leaders, Liam Walsh, their leaders are all standing up, and Garryspillane will look for someone to put the hand up and just give them that little bit of guidance. And dare I say it, in the past they would have been looking to Davy Ryan at full back or Donny in the forwards to get them that score, but just right now they're lacking a little bit of something. That said, there's only 4 points in it.
You're Garryspillane right now, and from a puck out point of view, both from their own and from Blackrock's, they haven't won too many this evening, and that's one big area I'm sure that will worry them an awful lot, along with being very much outworked.
Yeah, and the problem is that they've got Kieran Hickey if they want to go along, and he can win you that high ball. But the problem is when Blackrock are knocking it to the ground, it's Blackrock that are winning those balls, and Garryspillane aren't getting in there to win that second ball. It's the Rockies that appear to be the hungrier and the sharper right now.
Yeah, and of course they could have been a little bit further ahead, Jerome. That was a great chance by Colm O'Keefe. Just went over the crossbar, and that would have really put a different complexion on the scoreline now. But it's Garryspillane who find themselves with their backs very much to the wall right now for the second half.
Yeah, it is, and they will be thinking we need to get the first couple of scores here, because if Blackrock were to rattle that net, and I do think there's a lot of threats inside in that full forward line. They've been coming out and winning ball in front, and it's only a pop pass before someone has slipped through for Blackrock to have a chance on goal. Had Colm O'Keefe gone under, all of a sudden they were 1-8 to 5 points up, and we were still 5 minutes from half time. But Garryspillane, I think, will impress on them that they did find their feet there for a couple of minutes. John Kearns got a score from play, Dylan O'Shea got a score from play, and it just looked like there was a little flicker of form coming into them. Fair play to Blackrock, they stayed it again and hit back with 2 points to their own, but I think Garryspillane will look at that as a template for we can find our feet here, we can get ourselves into this game. And with the amount of intensity and physicality and work rate that Blackrock are bringing as well in a heavy night here in Kilmallock, and a bit greasy now with a few drops of rain, can they keep that going for 60 minutes?
Well, time will tell, and the next 30 minutes will very much reveal where this fate of these two championship teams are going to go. It's at half-time, Blackrock leading by 4. It's Blackrock 11, Garryspillane 7 in what has been a very entertaining opening 30 minutes. And we look forward to even better fare in the next 30. Some accuracy now.
Which one of those goals on is no stop goal and the whole of sacrifice not the longer. Oh, well,
Yeah, we're good. Yep. So all is in readiness for the start of this second half, and it's the words of motivation from both team managers, and it's up to these guys in the middle of the field. Now it looks like James Ryan has gone into midfield. A few changes, positional changes for Garryspillane at half time as he's taken on Jimmy Quilty in this second half, who was very influential in the first. But it's Blackrock on this early attack, and it's Colm O'Keefe who races out back as far as Adrian Cook, just underneath us here. Cook has made ground, he's on his left. Good block there by Riney Tobin, and Tobin is back from the midfield place as it's back in the corner there. Looks like Kieran Burke, and it's gone out over the sideline. Patsy Coffey telling us it's going to be a sideline ball. Quickly done, and well, not so efficiently, as Colm O'Keefe looked to get it in quick to Kevin Palmer, but only just put it back out over the sideline. That can work or it can't, Jerome. It's good when it does.
The blood was flowing, and they've been going so well, and they probably want to keep that tempo up, and look, didn't work on this occasion. But I noticed it's Colin Roy now that's gone to centre back for Garryspillane, and they've brought James Ryan into the middle and probably trying to just increase their flow of ball into their forwards, because they were second best in the possession stakes in that first half.
Oh, without doubt, it's Marty Farr, man who's played in goals as well. Back to another man who's played in goals, and that's Dahi Heffernan, but they're in the rear guard for Blackrock tonight as they launch a high one in on top of their full forward line. It's Dylan Dawson racing on. He's got grass in front of him, but what a lovely touch from Roberto Donovan, and that's really good defending. Kept the hurley in as Owen Sheehan comes on to this. Liam Walsh for company, and Sheehan does well, slips away, and it's going to be a sideline cut up. The tackle came from Paddy Leahy, impressive in this first half as well, but it came off his body as the ball went out. The Brendan O'Brien, the Blackrock backroom team mentor, giving words of encouragement as James Ryan just slips that ball off, and it's Paddy Lee who wins it to Marty Farrell. Dylan O'Shea tackling, but it's Farrell getting it up in the greasy conditions. Rain has stopped here at half time, thankfully, as Ryan Tobin increases the pressure on, and it's Paddy Leahy getting a tackle from James Ryan. This is real attritional stuff, I can tell you. And I think, Jerome, we said 4 points in the first half from play.
4 points in the first hour, 3 points only for Garryspillane, and 9 for Blackrock. And again, shows the spread of scores where you had 6 scoring for the Rockies and just 3 for Garryspillane. But they'll be happy, Garryspillane, to get the first score in this half and just settle it down. It looked like, again, things weren't working from James Ryan there, just topped a line ball, but they do appear to be working hard. It's only 90 seconds or so back into it, or nearly the 2 minutes, but they are working hard in those opening minutes. I'm no doubt with the words of the manager ringing in their ears.
And it's Dylan O'Shea striking it long. It's tailed away to the left, but kept in play. And it's Owen Sheehan, a foot race on here with Liam Walsh. Sheehan's going to favour his left here, and it's high and it's good. And is that the opening score of the second half? It is indeed. As we have a white flag, and it's Owen Sheehan who gets it from the men from Garryspillane. And of course, neighbours with Blackrock and great rivals down through the years. And they draw themselves to within 3. As Owen Sheehan wins the puck out, and he's going to go forward. Second shot at goal, and within 20 seconds, and Owen Sheehan and his right doesn't miss. And Richie Murphy will be disappointed that just didn't get where it needed to go. And Owen Sheehan was gifted that score, 2 in it now, Jerome.
Yeah, and already you can see there's a pep in the step of Garryspillane. No doubt they had a couple of harsh words at the break, but 2 points there, and Blackrock will be Jimmy Quilty management be so disappointed for an easy turnover there from a puck out going wrong, presenting a score to Garryspillane.
Jimmy Quilty winning the breaking ball. It's after Colm O'Keefe. Colm O'Keefe striking, and that's over the crossbar of Brian Heavey. And Colm O'Keefe, for a man that hasn't started or didn't start the game, replaced Gavin O'Loughlin, looks very, very comfortable in that forward unit.
Yeah, and they've brought him to wing forward now in the second half as well, and probably put a little bit more pace inside in their full forward line, with Kevin Palmer going back in there with Rory O'Shaughnessy in there as well, and Dylan Dawson. So they've just realigned that forwards a little bit at half time. The puck out comes, and you could see the Blackrock half forward line just dropping back on it, but it got to midfield, and Blackrock turned it over, and it's this man, Paddy Leahy, who brought it forward and fouled by Colin Ryan on his march towards that Kilmallock goal, that dressing room goal as we know it, to our left hand side. And this is right in front of the goal, 60 yards out, and a player and a free taker of the calibre of Paddy Leahy should be getting this. And he strikes it in, and again I put commentator's curse on as Brian Heavey deflects that off, and it's going to be a second chance for Paddy Leahy. Conditions have gotten difficult, but the rain has stopped now, but it's still a very greasy ball, and it's going to be a change of free taker, or 65 taker even. It's Marty Farrell who looks to come forward for this one. Patsy Coffey marking the spot with his foot. Of course, Patsy Coffey from Cappamore defeated a little bit earlier on this afternoon by Kildimo Palace Kinry, as Marty Farrell places this one. And of course, a big night and a big weekend for clubs all over Limerick, and indeed right across the country, as this condensed championship means that games happen simultaneously, as Marty Farrell, the only team he's worried about right now
is the team in green and white here this evening, and for him, he has put that one over and he has given them a 4-point advantage again, Jerome.
Yeah, and he's part of a half-back trio that's been really dominant for Blackrock with himself, Liam Walsh and Dai Heffernan in the middle, have been on top for a lot of it. He got a lot of valuable scores for them last year, a couple as well down in Kilfinnan when they played in the Munster Club Championship, and a confidence finish for him, his first one that he stood over.
Well, bodies on the line there. Dylan Dawson turning over the Roberto Donovan, but Rory O'Shaughnessy picked it up, and John O'Halloran said, "You took too many steps with that," and what a real body on the line tackle there by Dylan Dawson. Brilliant flick away to set up his opposite corner forward. Looks like Blackrock withdrawing right back here now. They've got 3 forwards, 4 forwards inside the 65. They're trying to congest this space back here for Danny Hayes and his team as Dahi Heffernan looks to bring it away. It's with John Kearns, and it's back as far as Marty Farrell. Farrell clears it away, and as he does, he strikes John Kearns. But John O'Halloran saying not a lot happening in that. Richie Murphy coming out of goals, and plenty of encouragement to come away from that from the Blackrock sideline here. 13-9. It's 4-point game, and it's Blackrock, the intermediate champions from last year, who are leading here, fighting for their championship lives. As John Kearns is going to be spoken to by John O'Halloran. First yellow card, Jerome?
First yellow card, I think, yeah, and probably getting it for returning the compliment, so to speak, to Marty Farrell. But again, Marty Farrell came back in across his half-back line and mopped up possession there, and he's had ball in hand time and time again, and they had half-back line for Blackrock, and it's just a line that Garryspillane are really failing to get on top in, and they've brought Owen Sheehan out there from the full forward line just to try and make a little bit of an impact in that area.
Owen O'Mahony bringing this one forward, showing a good pair of legs as well, as his speed carries him right into the Blackrock defence. But there's 3 or 4 men around, and it's off to Dylan O'Shea, and a shooting chance for O'Shea, and a score as the nod comes from the umpire from one to the other. And Dylan O'Shea, well, he is a fair marksman if he gets opportunities like that. A real young, exciting player. And I think that might be his 6th point of the day.
6th of the day, and 2 from play, and after maybe not finding the range from open play in the first half, that's 3 for Garryspillane in the opening 8 minutes of the second half.
Puck out has got a flood of players underneath it, and it's the aforementioned O'Shea again, trying to bring the ball through that flood of players, and it's turned over, but it's Ryan Tobin who wins it back. His shot is going to tail right, but will it go wide? John Kearns is with Richie McCarthy, and McCarthy, the All-Star from 2013, moves it out to Dahi Heffernan, of course son of Pat Heffernan, who hurled for Limerick for many years in those glory days in the 1990s. Heffernan, of course, from Mallow, but very much hurling for Blackrock this evening, as his team is called on to defend again, and it's Nigel Hosford bringing it out, and it's Marty Farrell who takes it, and Hosford has been fouled after he gave the possession out to his halfback. And well, I just hope the microphone is picking up with that, because it's good, let me tell you.
I think Jimmy Quilty just wants his team to spread it out and use the space, and he's right, because one-on-one they're winning all their individual battles. They don't really want to get congested in the traffic up the middle. If they can spread it out, they're winning all of those, and every time we think Garryspillane are coming with a bit of momentum, Blackrock have answered it all so far, and again, as Dylan O'Shea broke forward, they're just converging, and they're getting the numbers into all the tackles.
Dare I say it, Jerome, but a goal would be a huge score for either side in this game. As Marty Farrell, well, what a belt of a ball that is from deep in his own half-back line. It's in the danger area, in around that kitchen, as James Ryan looks to get it up, but being put under pressure by Rory O'Shaughnessy, as Ryan regains possession. Brian Heavey coming, but opts to hit off his right, long. Danny Hayes underneath this with Marty Farrell, who's been really impressive, I can tell you, for Blackrock. Back as far as Brian Maloney. Across the field, looking to find the space with Colm O'Keefe inside. Broken away, but Garrod Power, the principal from Caroline National School hits this one, gets it out, gets it long away, and it's Kieran Sheehan who's broken away. He's got Richie McCarthy coming across. Can Sheehan slip him? There's no shot. Richie Murphy parries, and it's to Kieran Hickey. It's still not gone for Garryspillane. Hickey turns to Heffernan. O'Halloran has his hand up for a free in, and Kieran Hickey is going to win a 21-yard free in front of the goals now for a little bit of back chat from Blackrock. But out of nothing there, Kieran Sheehan was 1-on-1 with Richie McCarthy. The shot was low, but Richie Murphy did well.
Could have maybe taken it another step, and
yes.
I suppose Kieran probably not a natural forward, has played a lot at centre back up along and centre back with the junior Bs last year, but if it had fallen to Owen Sheehan, you'd expect the net to be rattling, but a good save from Richie Murphy nonetheless, but still a chance for them to bring it back to 2 points.
Garryspillane not out of this just yet. 11 and a half minutes gone in the second half, and you'd fancy Dylan O'Shea from here to make it a 2-point game. It's 13-10. Blackrock lead, and O'Shea, routinely enough, slots this one over. So Dylan O'Shea got the last score of the game from play and gets the next one from a free. It's 11-13 now as Richie Murphy goes short to Liam Walsh. And Walsh finding the space down this left-hand side of the field. His goal power is blocked brilliantly by Adrian Cook. Cook tries to come away, but what defending that is from Kevin Palmer. What intensity that is on the rear guard of Garryspillane. But they handle it, and it's still an O'Shea under it. Jimmy Quilty coming onto him, but O'Shea showing heels now, heading to the 21, off his left. Oh, well, it would have been a lovely score and one of the scores of the game, but instead it's wide number 6 for Garryspillane. Game beginning to open up a little bit, Jerome.
Yeah, a bit of space for him there, but once again, look at the pressure he was under when he was striking that ball. Huge pressure. And, he's an ace marksman, but he was under serious pressure. Had to hit that off the hurley as well.
Short to Paddy Leahy here, just inside his own 65. Off as far as Kevin Palmer, man outside him. Palmer turns on his right. Will it give the legs? It won't. And Brian Heavey is coming away out to his 21-yard line. He's going to go high and long. I make it 4 and about 6 here with Blackrock having numbers, and it's off to Kieran Hickey. Well, a hint of a throw maybe, but play on, says the referee. Kieran Sheehan battling. Now big brother Owen comes in, but it's back to Richie McCarthy and off to Dahi Heffernan, high and long, and there'll be a bit of snow on that when it comes, I think, but it's Kevin Palmer who wins the race. Palmer back to Colm O'Keefe. O'Keefe half hooked there, and it's a very good hook, but it's still not clear. It's Dylan Dawson, it's Adrian Cook, in fact, turning to his right. Cook has slipped inside, he's got a man outside, it's Dawson. Can he get a shot away? Free in, have we a 21? It's a 21-yard free. John O'Halloran in a very good position to see that, as Blackrock are looking for something more, and I see a few of the supporters coming off the stand there.
Blackrock are adamant that it's a penalty, and John O'Halloran was close enough to the action. He has his 2 umpires, he hasn't consulted with them, but it must have been, from our vantage here, must have been pretty close to being inside for a penalty. But from a Blackrock point of view, take your point, get back a goal between the teams, and keep your nose ahead.
And you just have to commend the intensity of both teams, but in particular of Blackrock this evening. Did so well to keep that alive when it went in there, and it was Dylan Dawson who was fouled finally, but it was Adrian Cook who worked very, very hard, as Paddy Leahy routinely enough, as we approach almost the halfway point of this second half, extends the advantage in what is a real battle here. 14-11, and it's the Rockies who are leading. Ger Bradley has come onto the field of play, and I think
substitution there for Garryspillane. It's Cathal Shanahan that's coming in, and it looks like it's James Ryan that's making way for Garryspillane, and maybe he's dragging his leg a little bit, but a blow to have someone of his experience having to be forced out with still over 15 minutes to play.
Well, he was injured coming into the game, and there was a concern as the Garryspillane men tried to attack, and their attack has been foiled, and on this occasion it's been foiled by the referee because a judge to have thrown the ball. So James Ryan off, and Cathal Shanahan on, as Jerome said. And Jerome, are they having an eye on next week? And I'm just looking over, James is getting a bit of treatment. Are they keeping an eye on next week?
Yeah, look, it's such a congested championship now that, you probably have to. But that said, it's only a 3-point game here, and this game is still very much there for the winning.
Okay, Rory O'Shaughnessy half hooked, and it means the ball will go short, or shorter, and it's the Garryspillane rear guard that bring it up. Kieran Sheehan, deep now, but he's been turned over by Paddy Leahy, and that's a great block. Sheehan, who was in possession is now back in it. Got a great block just seconds ago. Off to the man just in, Colin Ryan. Long, down to Kieran Hickey, 3-on-2, and it's Hickey who's got the ball broken away from him by Richie McCarthy, and it's John Kearns looking to find a bit of space. Turns back to his right, strikes, and we're playing a 2-point game once again. And John Kearns, right on the water break, sends that one over. On 46 minutes here, it's Garryspillane 12 points, Blackrock 14, a 2-point game, and this last quarter has been really attritional, and it's about who's going to finish the stronger now. Of course, Garryspillane, a team who didn't play last week, are in the closing stages of the Under-21 Championship in Limerick. Blackrock, with that game under their belt, who did look the more impressive, but you'd have to say was even enough in that last 10 minutes odd. And Garryspillane very, very much in this game, and this is what they like.
For all the positivity of Blackrock, if you're told before you go into your first round of the championship, from a Garryspillane point of view, that you're 2 points down in the mix heading into the final quarter, you take it. The game is still alive, and they haven't had a purple patch just yet. And I think, they'll sense themselves, look, there's a chance here. They've done all the hurling, and they can't put us away. They can't pull away from us. And as you mentioned earlier, that elusive goal is still coming, and there's been a couple of half chances, but neither side have really, put serious pressure on a goal just yet, and you sense it might come. There's a greasy ball out there, and it would be a huge score for whichever team it comes from, because momentum in this final third now, or the final quarter of the game, it's going to be massive. And even you could say your next score is massive, because if your next score comes for Garryspillane, all of a sudden you've got a 1-point game, and their gander is up, and Blackrock will start thinking to themselves, we've done all the hurling, and what's after happening here?
And the big point, I would say, in the last couple of moments is the losing of James Ryan. Now, I think he's walked down there to that water break. I think I can see his frame in there. He is a huge leader for them. He's not on the field for the last quarter, and in a night where they're without some of the real traditional leaders that we spoke about a little bit earlier on, for people just joining us, they'll know that there's no Donny, there's no Davy Ryan, and these were the guys before. It was to James and these people, but it's now.
It's the young guys, but when you
back to those young fellas again.
Yeah, and when you look into the full back line, I think Roberto Donovan has really started to win a lot of ball inside there for the last while, and coming out of it. Colin Ryan has hurled a lot of balls since he's gone to centre back, and they've scored 3 of the last 4 points as well. We're across 12 minutes and we've only had 1 score from Blackrock, so Garryspillane are just finding their feet that little bit. And I notice another substitution coming in now for Blackrock. It's Kieran Constantine seems to be coming in at that water break, and going into the forward unit somewhere anyway. By the looks of it, seems to be taking up a place, maybe at a corner forward.
Kieran would be a forward, and a nice tasty little forward indeed. Celtic Challenge player last year, if memory serves me right, and it's going to be a restart with a puck out to Blackrock. And it's Richie Murphy who's going to get us back underway. 2-point game, 14-12 in Kilmallock. It's been entertaining, it's been enthralling, and it's not without a twist, I think, before this game ends. As Jimmy Quilty, talk about youngsters, here's one that's really impressed tonight, puts the ball into space, getting Paddy Leahy onto it, and just a bit too much from Roberto Donovan as he came to that ball. And the experience of Paddy Leahy won a free there, Jerome.
I think it's Rory O'Shaughnessy that has made way as well for Kieran Constantine to come in and look up along the sideline. I see the experience. David Maloney is going through a warm-up in there at the moment, so huge experience for able to call on with him maybe in the last couple of minutes.
Dave, of course, member of the Limerick Senior Hurling panel a number of years back, and one of the mainstays with Blackrock for many years. As Paddy Leahy gets this, and it's back to a 3-point game. So facing the final 10 minutes, Paddy Leahy with a fine score as we play 50 minutes here. And it's 12 points to 15 in favour of the Rockies as the ball comes long. Kieran Hickey again looking to try and paw that one as Ryan Tobin moves forward. He was definitely tugged back, and it's going to be a free. Just came onto a break really quickly, and he was tugged back as he flicked the ball forward, and Dylan O'Shea will again try and put this game back to a 2-point margin. And it is finely balanced. It is finely balanced.
Key for Blackrock is they're not allowing Garryspillane to get down to just that single point between the teams. They've replied each time. Garryspillane, they look for a run of scores. You know, they need to put scores back to back. They need to put a run of 3 scores together. Just can't get it because Blackrock are refusing to lie down.
Yeah, man, it's O'Shea again. He's been definitely the top scorer for Garryspillane this evening. Hits it in, it's going to drop short, and Richie Murphy pushes it up into the air. And that could have snuck under the crossbar as much as it could have went over. And Richie Murphy draws a foul from Kieran Sheehan there.
And just indicative of the night for Garryspillane, not happening for, you know, Dylan had one off the upright earlier on tonight. Just one, probably a bit of a wet slitter there, just dropped on him. And, you know, he's a guy that I think put 18 points on the scoreboard a couple of weeks back in the under-21 with extra time in that game. But, you know, just little things that show you Garryspillane aren't fully firing just yet tonight.
And the experience of Richie McCarthy being called on to take the free. Of course, did hit frees for Limerick as well when he was in that full back line. And he has done really well tonight. Richie Murphy, as far as Liam Walsh, stylishly forward, up and away, no nonsense stuff, but it's Roberto Donovan. And this man has had a brilliant last 15 minutes. Good few steps taken there. And
very unfortunate, you know, he did all the hard work, and yes, maybe the feet were travelling, but ball was almost in the air, ready to strike it, and he has grown into the game. You know, I thought the Blackrock full forward line had Garryspillane under a lot of pressure earlier doors, but Robert has really grown into the game and matured display at full back. And again, he's one of the under-21s, but big, strong physical presence in there, and no shortage of hurling.
Chance to go 4 clear as the referee looks for a replacement slitter because something obviously wrong. Maybe it's broken open.
I'm sure Paddy Leahy won't complain about a dry slitter coming into him as he stands over 155 metres out, and you know, probably a joy for a free taker to see a dry slitter coming in. It's not raining right now, but it's still, you know, a bit of a drizzly surface.
Well, Leahy, he got one a couple of moments ago, and in the pressure of this, he's put it wide.
And you know, still 1 score, 1 goal game, and
yeah, you just feel it's finely balanced, but it's that puck out which has been causing problems for Garryspillane all night. It's been won by the Rockies, and it's Adrian Cook moving forward. Dylan Dawson trying to take the reverse, and Cook has been fouled as he pawed it off to Dylan Dawson. He was fouled by Colin Ryan, it looks like, and or in fact it's Kieran Burke. And, well, Leahy, who missed one a couple of seconds ago, is going to get another opportunity to make this a 4-point game, and it's a yellow card. And I make that the 2nd yellow card of the night only.
And I think, to be fair, you know, the ball was popped off, and I think the defender just found himself, you know, in the challenge, just following straight through. No doubt it's hurt and it's winded, and I think Dave Maloney has just come into the game now as well, and it could be... is it Ian O'Brien that's
yeah, it is
making way, and Dave Maloney appears to have come into the half forward line for Blackrock to add that little bit of experience.
So Kieran Considine to midfield maybe, and Davy Maloney to half forward. Right leg is heavily strapped and heavily bandaged by Dave Maloney.
Yeah, knee injury, I think it curtailed his fitness for the last number of months, but huge experience and a huge player for him last year when they won that Premier Intermediate. And you know, nice to bring in, you know, the youth, but even better to be bringing a little bit of experience like that down the home stretch.
So we've got facing the last 5 here, and it's Adrian Cook, who will have felt that last challenge very much so from Kieran Burke, and he's had a really good solid second half. And Marty Farrell has come forward, interestingly, taking over from Paddy Leahy, who missed the last free. Chance to put Blackrock 4 ahead. As Farrell, who has been one of the most impressive players on the pitch tonight, doesn't make any mistake, and on 55 minutes, Marty Farrell has made it a 4-point game. It's 14-16. Next score is crucial, and it's a shot by Brian Heavey off as far as the fouled a couple of seconds ago, Adrian Cook, and it's Kevin Palmer who wins it off him, and Palmer puts it high and over, and Palmer, he hasn't, he's put it wide. I was going by the crowd over there.
Yeah, I think Kevin himself, you felt there was a confidence about him as it went over, and it would have been a huge score to potentially put him 5 clear. Instead we're just 4 again.
And I was just going to say to you, Jerome, is that very much that in this game, but it's game back on again as Owen Sheehan races forward here. Great chance by Sheehan, he's through 1-1. It's a shot, it's flicked on the line, it's a goal for the Bouncers. And it's Kieran Hickey who flag has gone up, and Kieran Hickey has some way kicked that across the line as Owen Sheehan did brilliant work as he got inside the Garryspillane or the Blackrock defence, and he's feeling it as we have a 1-point game in Kilmallock with 3.5 minutes to go.
And the fine margins, we thought Blackrock might have been 5 clear and thinking, is that the score that'll, stand him in good stead? And all of a sudden, up the field go Garryspillane. Owen Sheehan did all the hard work. Hard to tell who got the final score or the final touch to it. Certainly Kieran Hickey helped it over the line, but Owen Sheehan had done all the spade work.
And Liam Walsh has taken the puck out from Richie Murphy, and he's taken quite a belt as well. Yelping in pain just underneath us here. Aidan Fitzgerald is in, and it looks like a hamstring. And there's a lot at stake here tonight. There's 3 championship points, but of course there is real battling, bragging rights indeed between both these teams. Of course, neighbouring parishes over from Knocklong, Kilfinnan. They're right on each other there, and there's an awful lot at stake as Liam Walsh looks like he's played his last ball here this evening for Blackrock as the last 2.5 minutes plus. So we'll have 3 or 4 minutes injury here. 2 at least anyway. 112 for Garryspillane, 16 points for Garryspillane, or for 16 points for Blackrock.
The draw, of course, will keep Blackrock alive somewhat. They'll have to depend on the result of Garryspillane and Ballybrown next week, and maybe scoring difference or whatever could come into it. I won't say they'll take the draw, but it keeps them somewhat alive. Right now, still a point ahead.
Still a point ahead, and both teams have had chances, and it's Marty Farrell here. Got the last score for Blackrock. He's well inside his own 65 now, and he struck it really well. He's against the breeze. He's going to have the distance, but the accuracy means that it's left him down. It's gone to the left-hand side and wide. I make that wide number 6 for Blackrock, but I might have missed one. And it's Brian Heavey, anxious to put the ball into the Blackrock defence and see what his team can do down there with about 1 minute and 20 seconds of normal to go. Plus, here, it's Dylan Dawson with a chance. John O'Halloran says there is advantage. It's a long, high ball back in there, and it's broken down, touched away, and a clever touch out there by Kieran Burke. Man on a yellow card from just a couple of moments ago, but possession is anybody's, as Rory O'Shaughnessy, the man we thought had gone off, came back on. And it's played back out as far as Paddy Leahy. He's got Dylan O'Shea for company. Good tackling by the Garryspillane men. It's on the ground, and again anyone's ball this time as Colin Ryan and Owen O'Mahony tried to bring it away. And it's Owen O'Mahony doing well, but his kick forward is just a little bit too strong. And of course some of these Garryspillane men will be facing Senior Football Championship with Galway in a couple of weeks' time as the noise level reaches crescendo here in the Fitzgerald Park in Kilmallock, and all of the supporters making themselves heard. It's on a knife edge. It's Blackrock by 1 as Jimmy Quilty puts it deep into the Garryspillane defence as Kieran Considine. Really good touch off to David Maloney on his right side. Maloney's first touch means a first score for Blackrock, and Jerome spoke about experience. What a great touch from Kieran Considine. Back to Maloney, and we play 2 points here as we hit 30 minutes, Jerome.
Great score from David here. Just first ball, a swivel and over the bar for him, and that's a huge score in the context of this game now, because it puts it back to 2 again, and it's over 50 minutes now since these teams have been level. Will Garryspillane need another green flag?
Well, it's going to be a free ball, I think, from deep inside the Blackrock defence. As the puck out had went, and I think it was John Kearns seemed to be the guilty party. Joe Bradley with his hands out over there. 30 minutes and 30 seconds gone, but remember, I'm not counting that water break, so that's at least 1 minute, plus what the referee will play an injury after that, as Marty Farrell. He's going to have a word with some of the management team over there from Garryspillane.
All this is eating into the time as well for Garryspillane. They need the ball back in play to get the necessary scores.
So it's Marty Farrell. Not for the first time this evening. This man has been really impressive, and not for the first time I've said that either. 112-17. His team has hit 17 scores this evening, and he's hit a couple of them himself as he puts it in. And it's one back there. High challenge on Colin Ryan by Dave Maloney. Could be a yellow card. But again, it's eating that watch, as Jerome says, as Brian Heavey looks to try and get the ball back up. And I'm looking up here, I see Jimmy Quilty and Dahi Heffernan free, both part of Paul Beery's under-20 team for 2020, both Heffernan and Quilty. And by tonight's form, very impressive as well, I can tell you. And Brian Heavey being told to go back. And this is just such a big local derby. There's every inch is being contested, both on and off the field, and it's high and long, and it's John Kearns trying to get his hand underneath it. Ryan Tobin is there, and Kearns is going forward, and Tobin is moving. Would it be a chance to just knock it over 40 yards out? Well defended by Dahi Heffernan, and Kearns moving in, and it's going to be a free in to Garryspillane. And again, that long, high, direct ball, Jerome, it looks like hitting hope, but they have got good men that can win it in the air, and Kearns been one of those.
Yeah, and we've played two and a half over the 30 now, but as you said, not including water break. No fourth official here to tell us how much injury time there is, but I'm sure we've at least another minute of play here, and could be back to a 1 point play if Dylan slots this one over.
You'd fancy him too. Yes, he does, and it's 113-17 now. Possession is critical from this puck out. It's there's still a minute odd to play, I'd say, somewhere along the line, but we'll have the discretion of John O'Halloran.
Blackrock have led this game since the 7th minute when Paddy Leahy put it 3 points to 2 ahead, and to be caught at the death right now is certainly not what Jimmy Quilty's side want.
Richie Murphy has got a big decision to make. Where does he put this? And he puts it down on top of a couple of experienced men. Davy Maloney coming in front for the break, but it's Owen Sheehan who wins it. It's Sheehan racing forward, and he's inside the 65. He's heading towards the 45. He's going to tie it up. He hits it high. He hits it over the crossbar. And out of nowhere, Garryspillane have snatched a draw in this game. Owen Sheehan, who was underneath the puck out, won it, carried it forward. Dylan O'Shea for company, but he struck it high and over the crossbar, and we're still playing a draw game. It's Marty Farrell. It's now Blackrock's chance to attack. The lone figure up there is Adrian Cook, and it's off as far as the corner back, and that's Garrod Power. Moving it out to Colin Ryan. What's going to happen? Ryan puts it long and deep. Dahi Heffernan, the free man back there. It's Kieran Hickey who has it, looking to give it to somebody. A vital interception by Marty Farrell. Farrell, has he taken steps? He hasn't. It's played forward to Jimmy Quilty. We're still playing. It's now to Dylan Dawson. He's got a pocket of space. Can he do something for him? 3 men around him. Dawson has it. He spills it to the ground. Crowd looking for a free over there. But it's Dawson who spills it a second time. And it's Garryspillane who might have won it back with Ryan Tobin. Riney takes a hit and the ball is spilled again. It's David Maloney in there. It's anybody's possession right now. We are in the 34th minute, nearly the 35th minute of play here, and we're with O'Mahony as the ball is being brought out and it's brought to a conclusion here. We will have no more, and that score deep in stoppage time from Owen Sheehan is the one that will tie up the game and bring these teams level, and that is the way we're going to finish. Jerome, exciting stuff in the last couple of moments there.
Absolutely exciting, and we expected that. We expected that this was going to be a game full of physicality, intensity. We got just that. Two teams have left absolutely everything out there. Blackrock are probably going to be the more disappointed. I think they hurled the game from start to finish, really. Garryspillane were a little bit inconsistent. but they got there in the end. You know, they kept going, and that Owen Sheehan goal was the spark they needed. I think it was 1-3 from Owen in the second half from play, and we had spoken about the value of what a goal would have been, and it came to Garryspillane, and you know what a time for it to come as well. Just that 5 minutes from the end, and they kept going. And in fairness to Dylan O'Shea, knocked over a couple of frees, missed a few, but stayed at it, and you know, a really good game. Keeps Blackrock somewhat alive, but they now have to sit back and await the result of next week's game, next Friday night I think it is, between Garryspillane and Ballybrown in the LIT Gaelic grounds.
And that's a huge last 10 minutes or 10 minutes plus injury, and I just make it by looking quickly at my notes here. Garryspillane got 1-2 to Blackrock's 3 points in that period, and as we said, and the goal was going to be the big score, and it was Owen Sheehan who very much led the way in the last 10 or 12 minutes there.
Yeah, and they had grown into the game, in fairness to him. You know, I think Ribardo Donovan at full back, Colin Ryan at centre back, Ryan Tobin started to carry ball at him as well from midfield, and you know, they may have stuttered through the game, but they were always staying on the coattails of Blackrock. Blackrock never got that goal. They could have put distance between themselves and Garryspillane, and you know, Ger Bradley be reasonably a happy man for Garryspillane that they know they weren't at their best tonight, but they're after getting the draw here, and you know, gives themselves something to build on for Ballybrown next weekend.
And word to Blackrock, and they were the team that, you know, came out of the blocks early and that were really impressive, and it was that last quarter, and we spoke about that even at half time, because, you know, of having that game last week, what would it have done to them? They brought so much intensity to the game. They did so many good things here. They'll feel that this was a game that they left after them.
Yeah, certainly. And after that water break, you know, they hit 3 points in that final quarter of the game. 2 of them were from frees, and the only score from play in that last 15 minutes was from Dave Maloney there, the one that, you know, looked to have maybe edged them ahead again. But fairness to Garryspillane, you find 2 points in injury time to draw your level, and, you know, maybe harsh on Blackrock, but you know, a fair result, a draw. You can't argue with the scoreboards, and you know, we got the game that we anticipated here. Good, tough, make or break knockout hurling,
and it's exactly what we anticipated. And as they go forward next weekend, Garryspillane will know they'll have to improve when they play Ballybrown, but they know that game will really serve them well.
Yeah, it will, you know. And I've no doubt that Ballybrown were here tonight watching it, and you know, they'll now know what's facing them next week. But they had a big win over Blackrock last weekend, and that's, you know, in terms of scoring difference, that will count as well for the Rockies, and you know, maybe hence why they're a bit disappointed out there. But you know, they didn't let themselves down tonight. There's no doubt about it.
Well, it's finished here in Fitzgerald Stadium in Kilmallock. It's finished on a scoreline of 114 for Garryspillane, 17 points for 17 points for Blackrock. So a fine performance from the Rockies, who of course came here tonight knowing that they had to get something from the game to keep their championship hopes alive. They will of course play no more part in this championship until the game next Friday night, in which Ballybrown will play Garryspillane, and that result will depend on whether Garryspillane or Ballybrown or even Blackrock will make progress in this championship or not. For tonight, it was a very, very entertaining game of hurling here. It was the last couple of moments it came down to. Deep in stoppage time, Owen Sheehan, the big man wearing number 12, marched forward after winning a puck out from the Blackrock men, carried it through the heart of the Blackrock defence and popped it over with seconds on John O'Halloran's clock remaining. It's Garryspillane who rescue a draw from the teeth of defeat here. It's finished in Fitzgerald Stadium in Kilmallock, and we thank you for your company this evening. It's finished. Garryspillane 114, Blackrock 17 points.